Hi, class. Amanda had asked a question regarding color schemes, and so I wanted to respond. She had mentioned that she wanted to know what to do with the color scheme builder, and I realized that maybe there aren't enough detailed videos regarding colors uh, in InDesign and how you might generate a really nice color scheme for your upcoming project. So I did a quick little layout here, and obviously I put a bunch of my own themes in there, so I'm going to go ahead and delete them because I don't want anyone to get confused. These are going to see it's going to change because I applied all those colors. So anyway, one of the things that I want you to see is, let me just go ahead and quit out of my personal email so that notification stops coming up. Anyway, what we have here is we have a ton of colors in my swatches, and by no means are you required to use the color scheme builder, the color scheme generator. What I'm hoping is that you can go to new color, make sure it's on process. Process is for print, so is spot, but spot color is one ink color flooded, and the process color is a 4-color process. Spot color you can grab from going to like CMYK coded. This is usually used in print situations, and you'll end up having to go through all of these colors, and that can be painstaking, and you really don't need to have to do that. You can certainly add it to your library, as you can do it with the color scheme, color theme generator I have here in the Adobe panels. We'll talk about that in a moment. But anyway, you can just go to process as well, and then you'll get a different set of colors based around where you were. Anyway, there are a ton of different colors here, but you can certainly just go to CMYK and do a breakdown using the sliders and then saying add. What I want you to do is work that way, but also know what is available to you. You have these basic CMYK colors. You get your cyan, 100 cyan, magenta 0, yellow 0, black 0. You get your black, your white or paper, and then you've got your yellow. You can see the different breakdowns when you hover over how those colors are made up based on the 4-color process system. However, what you're going to want to do is, for this project, it might be hard to painstakingly go through and imagine a great color scheme if you're not used to it. If you're really good in color, I would say have at it, create your own color scheme. Otherwise, you might feel a little lost on that. So one of the things I'd like you to do, I'm going to close out of that, is go up to Window, Color, Adobe Color Themes. What's great about this is, and I'm not sure we had such a great option. We had this option before, but it's been upgraded and gets better every month, it seems like. So my video may not accurately reflect the options that were available, so I wanted to show you this one. So you can go ahead and open that up, and based on the Adobe Color Themes, you can create your own. And I would say go down to the color. You can use the wheel too. Just click by one and then start to move these around, and you can see different schemes come about. I'm not too fond of that. I'd rather go to like monochromatic, triad, complementary, compound. I'd rather follow those. You've got some good shades. The analogous are also some great ways of bringing in some color that works to be consistent, yet have some variation throughout your piece, which is always a great way for branding. And that's what we're going to be focused on in our next project, branding. So if you like something, for example, I created this one and I really like it and I want to save it, one thing you do is hover over here and just add it to your swatches. It automatically goes to your swatches, and it goes in an RGB form, which is screen resolution only. RGB screen res is fine. We can use that, and we're not going to be printing our self-branding booklet. However, if you go to print professionally with a professional printer, and you need a 4-color process breakdown, you'll want to go in your swatches after you've added them and double-click here and change it from RGB. Gotta scroll up here. to CMYK. Okay, see, and then you've got that breakdown. So I really think that this probably needed to be covered a little bit greater detail for you all. I'm breaking these down, going in and making them all CMYK for print purposes. Again, if you're going to print these at home, it's probably not a big deal if you're not too concerned with the shifting of colors. However, if you're working with a client that really requires that you have colors exact, you're going to want to either have the right breakdown or have them provide spot colors that you can use and add using this area, new color swatch. And then that's when you would go in and grab your coated or your solid coated, not breakdown. CMYK is different than solid. Solid coated brings you to the Pantone colors. The Pantone matching system is a matching system that we have so that when we add a blue, Pantone 801C, if I add that, say okay, and I add that to my swatches, and my logo is Pantone 801C, then a printer halfway across the world that we use regularly, let's say we're Starbucks and or another company that uses this color, this color will not shift. It will look the same that I have applied it here. When I send my print file to the printer, it's going to look the same in my collateral material as it does at the corporate level. So those printer color shifts won't change from designer to printer regardless. It's sort of a universal understanding of color, universal technological application for color so that designers, printers, and corporate people can all agree upon something so that it doesn't shift. Now, when you're working with CMYK, that's a 4-color breakdown. Sometimes it does shift, so you might have to change it. Printers will work that way. So much is digital now that we're not running into so much of a problem, but we do have that system to rely upon. But CMYK is great when you're exporting to PDF and high resolution PDF file that's going to go to print. So that's a little background. There's more to it that we'll learn in the printing course alongside other courses in the program. But this in particular is a great resource for you to start to add. So now I've got my color schemes in my swatches, and you can get swatches by going to color swatches. And now I'm going to change the fill. We'll just change the fill. Change this fill. I'm on the fill. I'm not on the stroke or the outline. I'm on the fill. Let's see. And of course, don't work with a mid-tone and a mid-tone type fill. So T's for my type. Now I'm going to go to, like, no one would be able to read that. There's too much vibration. No one would even be able to read that. So in this case, I would work with maybe white. White might be my best option. Okay, so this is just a nice way to add color schemes. Again, you can go to create your own, or you can explore what already exists. These are great because they don't rely on analogous. They're a little bit more unique. So let's say I want to add, oh yes. Oh yes, I'm going to go ahead and I'd like to add that to my swatches. Copy of oh yes. So oh yes is a more unique color scheme. I might be able to, again, I don't like strokes on hardly anything, but let's see, go down to oh yes. I gotta go back. See what I'm doing? I'm adding it to the stroke and not the fill. It's very easy to do. I do it all the time. So I'm just trying to let you all know what ends up happening. Let's see. Select. That's nice. And then go back to my type. That bright yellow looks good enough. There's enough contrast there. So we got yellow and a couple different shades of green. So I've got a couple different color schemes, and what's wonderful is you can also, I believe you can save them to your Creative Cloud library. Your libraries can be accessible, and you'll learn more about that later, but libraries are wonderful ways of accessing information. Let's say I love this color scheme and I want to work from it on various projects. If I save it to my Adobe Creative Cloud library, I'm then allowed to access it at any time for other projects that I have. So I hope that helps you understand. Obviously, there's a lot more to the color scheme builder. There's your themes. You can go to your themes if you want. If you don't have any built, then you can build them differently. I think I built this one earlier, but again, this is a way to access from your library all the themes that you've created. I hope you enjoy this tool and this feature a little bit. You do not have to use it. It's not required. Of course, just add colors, whatever you, however way you want. But another way you can work, which I think is more closely related to what I've given you in the other video, was if we go to online and we have this little coolers.co. You can check that out too. Let me see if I just take a quick screen capture of this moving one, what it gives me. It'd be funny to see. And I go back into InDesign and I do Control D for place. And I want to, oh, it grabbed that color. I was wondering how that would, that's cool because it grabbed the color that matches. So here we have this color scheme. And you're wondering, how do I utilize this? All you have to do is go to your eyedropper tool. Here we go. We got a nice color. We're going to add it. I added it to Oh Yes on accident. I can add it outside of Oh Yes if I want. Oh, it keeps going to Oh Yes. Maybe because I have to be. Okay. Okay, and now I'm going to add this color. See if this adds it to Oh Yes too. It might keep adding it to Oh Yes. Not the end of the world here. That's okay. I think it just keeps gravitating towards that grouping. And then just keep going. There it goes. So I've got a couple different new colors that are added. And then you can keep, just based on this, I clicked on that and my eyedropper was selected. So it immediately adds it to my piece. So even if I go like this, I can add to different shapes unless you click off. So the eyedropper tool is always kind of sensitive that way. I don't want an outline on that. So that helps you to get a good idea of how you might be able to bring an image in that you like and then copy the colors from the image to make something feel very succinct with what image you bring in. So I hope that helps answer some questions on color scheme and helps beef up the interesting colors you use in your next project. I'll see you guys in the next video.